Welcome back to the show. Okay, so my guest on the show today is Ron, and I don't want to say his last name because I know I might just not pronounce it properly, but he is a planner. I mean, you just have Ron tell you who he is. Ron, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Yaya. I'm pleasure to be here and be anywhere.
I hear you. And be here. Thank you so much. Okay, so we were talking earlier and you said I said I wanted to talk about insight. And then I asked you what you wanted to talk about and you said me. So is it me as in me or is it you as in you?
Both.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. Tell me about yourself.
I grew up in a blessed environment. I have two older brothers. I had a mother and a father, and I had, listening to everybody else in the world, I didn't realize it until I went away that I was blessed with the family I had. Even though I had some challenges, some of the people I've met in this world, Yaya, they have really a lot of challenges and lessons to learn. Mm-hmm. And I've been very interested in the relationship that I have with these people. And then also I realized that I wanted to understand why I had a problem talking to my mother and my brothers. Mm. And you may realize that I'm highly auditory. Mm-hmm. They aren't. They use their auditory to get a message across, but they're not interested in having a conversation at the level that I enjoy. Mm-hmm. So because I grew up in that environment and having a challenge getting people to listen to me, I felt alone. And then I went to a workshop called Psi Mind Development, which was, I understand, a very intensive workshop, more intensive than EST, which was Earhart Seminar Training, which is another well-known workshop that some of the listeners may be aware of. And I had a major wake-up call. In the class of 12 people, we had to go to the front of the room, stand there, and talk about ourselves. I wouldn't go. They had to drag me physically to the front of the room to stand there, and I was terrified. Terrified to the point that if you ask me what we did for 7 days, Yaya, I don't know.
Wow. But
since then, I have, in a strange way, started to realize something's going on, that I'm not getting what I want. And people aren't listening to me. So I started on the path of what's going on that you're not listening to me. So I go to the sales business. And guess what? I learned about rejection. For 7 years, I got 99% rejection and 1% acceptance. So I know rejection. If you were to hang up on me now and say, Ron, thanks a lot, but I'm going away, I'm going to talk to somebody else that's more interesting, I would feel that. But if you accepting me now in the strangest way, Yaya, I don't feel anything. And then I realized, unbeknownst to me, I was seeking feeling with rejection because that's all I knew growing up. And people would say wonderful things to me and I go, oh, okay. So I realized something very interesting, that I don't realize what I would like to realize. And then I took a course called Money and You, which was a wonderful course by a lady by the name of Doria Cordova, which is another wake-up call. And I learned another little thing about myself. And then I studied a program called Lateral Thinking. And I loved playing with words. And my gift to the world is I found out we're using words to communicate.
Okay.
My choice of words is one way of expressing myself. you hear it with your choice of words, with your definitions. And a lot of times I'm saying something in English and you're hearing me and go, I don't see what you mean. Mm. Or, hey, that idea rings a bell. Or, yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Or, I can't understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I am realizing more and more that I'm speaking a foreign language and you're speaking a foreign language using the same words, and you don't get it, or I don't get it. And then I noticed 99% of my arguments with my brother and my mother's was they wanted to see something and I wanted to say something. So I raised my voice. And all through the years, this is the thing I've been working on. And then last week, I became aware of my passion. Last week, I'm 77 years old. Last week, I became aware of my passion. Everybody else recognized it in the world. I had wonderful accolades from major people, well-known people, successful people giving me an accolade. Okay. And I didn't get it, even though they got it. So you may see the sparkle in my eye as a wonderful lady by the name of Barbara Scher said to me. Mm-hmm. She said, Ron, you've got a sparkle, but you don't see it. Mm. And I read some testimonials and I've been going over and over them and it wasn't resonating with me. But the one criticism I would feel, which a lot of entertainers and actors have said, they get wonderful accolades, but one criticism because they said this way and they got that. Yeah. Because I grew up with criticism and I didn't know that at the same time, I was not focusing on the acceptance. I was focusing on the criticism because I felt it. I don't feel love because love is what it is. It's not a feeling, it's a being. It just took me 77 years and a lot of challenges. And being a contrarian, I created a lot of challenges for myself that sitting here now, knowing what my passion is, I seem to be more complete inside. I seem to be able to feel for the first in my life, my value. And I want to do this with everybody in the world to help them have a similar experience, to feel viscerally their value. And my passion is having insightful conversations. Yeah. And my hobby has been having these conversations with people all over the world because I love to do it. And then last week, I got paid for the first time for me to share my personal value with this person. And because I have so many experiences around the world in many different aspects, invariably, either I know somebody that can help them. As an example, I referred one of my clients to you. Yes. He didn't know you. I knew you. So I found out I had a wonderful conversation with him. And in the conversation, he shared with me something he would be interested in doing. And I said, hey, I know somebody. And I referred him to you. Yes. And he will be on the show. Yeah. So this is what I do. So I'm interested in you. And what I want to ask you is, if you were to say, I need, what would you answer? What do I need? What would I answer, huh? Okay, now we'll put that aside. There's a lot of things I want, but need is different. Okay. I want to talk to Yaya. I don't want to talk to your head. I want to talk to who you are. Okay. Because our heads get in our way. Yes. Yes. And our heads are programmed. We are so programmed, we don't even realize in our languaging is a program. And our thinking, which is in our skin, in our brains, is not thinking. It's an electrochemical reaction we call thinking. And what I want to share with you is that I asked you a question and you did not really have the ability at the moment to answer it right away.
Right.
As an example, if I said, "Are you a male or female?" What would you answer?
I'm a female.
And exactly, and when you say it, there's no chatter, there's nothing.
Right.
So if I asked you, "What do you want?"
What do I want? I want to be like, I want to be the person that can help other people. That's what I want.
That's a very big piece, very big piece.
Right.
If we had a conversation, I would say, "That's very nice, but tell me something specifically that I would know that you got it because you wanted it."
Mm-hmm.
And you would say, "Tell me something you want this week."
This week.
This week.
I want to finish the upload for my documentary.
Okay.
So I'm working on that. So that's what I want this week.
Yeah. So that is very, very specific. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that. And on a scale of 1 to 10, what I like to ask you, on a scale of 1 that you want to complete it, and a scale of 10 you want to complete it, would you say you are going to complete it?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you'll notice when you say that, you may not be aware that saying that creates a different chemical reaction in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a physiologist by education. I never used it when I was finishing school, but I use it now because we're having a conversation, but it's not really a conversation, it's sharing energy.
Right.
Now, this is going to be something that I spent 60 years working on. So please be gentle with yourself, because I'm going to take you to a place that you're going to go, but you may have a little bit of angst around it.
Okay.
That angst is knowing that you're alive.
Okay.
Because we don't know that we're alive until we do what we love to do. So when you mention "I will do something," you will notice that your body feels very different than when you say "I want," or when you say "I need," at a what they call a felt sense level.
Okay.
It's a different sensation in our body. And we do not listen to our bodies because we weren't taught to shut up, to stop it, and listen. And what I realize is right now we're in our heads. And to really make a connection to where we are, sometimes we will say a word and notice how it feels inside. And every word is going to feel a little different at a visceral level.
Okay.
That's how we understand. Mm-hmm. So when I talk to somebody, my biggest question is, how do I get the message across so you hear what you need to hear or want to hear? So that's why I ask them questions, because I'm in my world and you're in your world. So the reason why I ask you, what do you need? Some people say, "I need this." Some people say, "I want this." But we, in the self-help world, you alone can do it, but you can't do it alone.
Right.
Do you understand what that really means?
It means that you can do it, but you're going to need people who have other capabilities to help you through.
Or else you'd already do it.
Exactly.
So what I've experienced is there's a word called problem that I studied problem solving for 60 years. Why? I don't know, other than I like problems. So I looked up in the dictionary the word problem. It comes from 2 Greek words. Now, our language is made up. Our language was created out of foreign languages. So we're speaking something that is created. And we make sometimes the word more important than the experience. So in the word problem is problema. Okay? Now, in Greek, pro means something, and blema means something. So someone had an experience, and years ago in Greece, when someone had an experience, a friend said problema. And that's how the word problem was created.
Wow.
So now, pro means forward or in front. And blemma mean to throw, literally. So the word problem has two definitions. One of them is whatever's in front of you is a problema. It's a situation. It's not a problem the way our minds make it. It's a situation. It's an experience. It's an event. But our minds say, oh, it's a problem. No, 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 no. It's just an experience.
Okay.
And blemma means to throw. So there's two definitions. One is whatever is facing you now is your problema, or you give your problema to somebody else. Now, do you notice how you shifted?
Yeah.
So what I realized is we were not taught to realize the second definition of the word problem. Even though in a company, a guy who runs it wants marketing, he gives the problem to the marketing guy. He gives the problem to the human resources guy. But we were never taught to do it ourselves. So I teach people, if you have a challenge, if you have a concern, give it to somebody else.
Wow.
And you may find out, as an example, you may find out that whatever challenge you have that you haven't done today, you give it to your neighbor. Are you living where there's a neighborhood?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a neighbor that you don't know?
Yeah.
I guarantee it. If you take your problem, whatever it is, and take it to your neighbor, and you say to your neighbor, I need your advice. And your neighbor says, no, 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 listen, I'm a butcher. What do I know? You may find out that he has a way of cutting up your problem in a way that he knows in his world that he can solve your problem.
Mm.
And in creative thinking and in lateral thinking, I have learned, give your problem to somebody else, living or dead. I have a board of advisors. On my board of advisors is a guy by the name of Martin Luther King.
Okay.
There's a woman by the name of Golda Meir, Napoleon Hill, Buddha, and a writer by the name of Samuel L. Clemens, who was Mark Twain. They're on my board. They're my own personal board of advisors. I pay them a lot because they're worth a lot of money to help me. And when I have a challenge, I have decided, Ron, don't try to solve it yourself, or else you'd already solve it. Give it to them. And I found out that perception, I get to relax. And I don't have to do this myself. But when I was a kid, I had to do it myself because I wanted my parents' attention. I wanted their acknowledgement. Right now, I'm getting acknowledgement. I'm getting attention that I wish I would have gotten from my mother when I was born, but she had to take care of two other boys. She couldn't give me the attention that I wanted. And also, she had her own challenges in her life that she never got the attention she wanted. So she couldn't achieve what she wanted. And I picked up my mother's strengths and my father's strengths. On top of that, there's a male aspect and a female aspect in every one of us. When we have a question, it may be from one sense of the male, and the other sense, the female is trying to answer it. And that's why sometimes we get mad at ourselves. Why would you ever get mad at yourself? You're a beautiful person. It's because those two perceptions, the male in quotes and the female, have never had a relationship inside of us. Never. So the most important relationship is what I call a neural collaboration. It's with ourselves. But we were never taught that because I had to do things to please other people. You were taught to please other people because no one ever said to you when you were a kid, Yaya, what do you think?
Right.
And at this age, I'm rewriting those scripts where I'm looking at those situations that at the time were negative, I'm turning around and say there's a positive to that. Everything has a positive because there is no negative. It's just a label called the opposites. And in the Kybalion, you ever heard of it? Okay.
Oh,
There's a book called the Kybalion, which was one of the other things I have in my understanding, which are the 10 laws of the universe. There are 10
yeah.
universal laws
Mm-hmm.
that we are doing, but we don't realize we're not embracing it into our lives. And I've learned a lot of things up here. Last week, when I became aware of my passion, all this wonderful wealth, all the gifts that you're giving me are now in myself viscerally, and my life is just glorious. So getting back to you, what I want to share with you is that if you were to hire me, we would have a conversation and I would find out, one, what's your dream? And it would be on the computer screen. I get you to see your dream, literally. And I get you to have a financial statement reflecting that dream. Now, you have a dream, I hope.
Yes, I do. I do have a dream. Definitely.
Okay. Now, two things. The dream is already out there. And all you require is take the steps to that dream. Number one. Number two is you do not have all the aspects of the dream, seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, tasting it, smelling it, and the other two aspects to make it as if it happened yesterday. And what I do is, because of my interest, I help you practice your dream. As an athlete, they practice over and over and over again. Well, you don't do that because you were never taught the importance of practicing your dream, like having a race. So I've decided when I talk to somebody, if you were my client, I'd say, imagine, Yaya, it's a year from now and you won the Yaya lottery.
That would be nice.
So with that smile, imagine, God willing, you're going to be somewhere in the future, somewhere. So why not? Let's choose that place.
Right.
So we could practice it now, and we may find out over the next month or two, you're on track. And I have had the feeling when I knew I was going to win something, I got very excited. I don't know why, but when I knew my number was going to come up when I was playing Highlight in Florida, and my three numbers were going to come up, I was already at the cash booth waiting for my money. I was so excited. So imagine it's a done deal that you are going to win the lottery. All you require is to get out of the way with your head and practice it as if you're an athlete. And we practice it a few times, coming back from success to today. And it's like the accounting approach. Yesterday, you would show all your information to your accountant that you did your taxes for last year.
Right.
Correct?
Okay. Right. Mm-hmm.
Exact details, no ifs, ands, and buts. Mm-hmm. So imagine it's 2 years from now, and you tell me what you're going to give the accountant for that year. And all we do is walk back from there to the present day, and we find out what is stopping you from today from getting there. And there may be 25 things you have to do between now and then to say, yeah, if I do these things, I'm going to achieve that. And if you know your business, you're going to say, if I do this, I'm going to achieve that. So what we do is I say, okay, next week, take one of them, and what are you going to do? And if you're on the track for who you are, you're going to have the happiest time of your life, because your head is then going to listen to you. And our heads were not trained, in quotes, to listen to us, because we were conditioned by everybody else.
Yeah, you're right.
From day one, our parents, we go to school, we are so conditioned. Even now, I'm so conditioned that I don't know how else to express this other than the way I'm doing, realize that I'm already conditioned. And if you relate to that, if you resonate with that, if it makes sense to you, then we're going to have insightful conversations. And the insight is making a connection between your two thoughts that is there, but you couldn't see it because you're inside. The same thing if I had a challenge and I would say, Yaya, this is my challenge. I have found out you're going to say, have you ever considered this? And I'm going, oh my God, it was right there. Right. I didn't recognize it. So imagine you're my unconscious. When you're talking with me, imagine that you are reflecting certain things about my unconscious. Maybe I should listen to you. Maybe you should maybe you should listen to everybody you're talking to, because they may have an insight. And imagine everybody out there is reflecting a little bit of your unconscious. And if you get angry, thank them, because they're touching a spot that is ready to express. And anger is just stuck energy. It's just stuck energy, because there's a word anger and there's a stuck energy that we label it anger. I don't know why. But if we label it, it stays stuck. If you have that experience and let it out, it's just, I got angry at something this morning and I caught myself and said, Ron, why did I swear? All it was, and I said, why did I swear? Because I'm on automatic.
Yeah.
I got triggered. So I'm working now to show you that you're going to get triggered. So thank that person for triggering you, because it's going to release that energy that has been held there for you to realize something. Because if you already knew something, we wouldn't be having these conversations.
No.
So getting back to you, you can see my concern is you've got other things on your mind also. So
right now I'm trying to focus. Yes. Yeah. I'm being present to the moment. Definitely.
We're doing it auditorily. When you sit with me, we do it visually. As an example, if you were to say to me, Ron, this is what I would like. When you see it on the screen, this is what I would like. My dream is this. You get a chance to get it off your mind, but not out of your mind. And for some reason, you relax, because I found out viscerally, once it's off your mind is there to do other things.
Right.
And last week, I think I got triggered to find my passion when I cleaned out my room. My room was filled with boxes of clothing that were there for 4 years. And I believe, I can't prove this, but I believe when I cleaned out my room, it was a reflection of cleaning out my head. Why? I don't know. But I believe that seeing those boxes in my head took up space in my brain.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing with you some insights that if you are concerned about your room, if you're concerned about whatever it is, thank yourself for the blessing of that concern and give me the problem.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Now, you said I could see that. I'm not visual. You can see I'm auditory. But I use my visual unconsciously to understand. And what I've noticed is you said I could see that.
Yeah.
In your mind, you have a picture of something.
Yes.
That's why you would say that. Some people would say that makes sense, which means either they hear it, they feel it, they taste it, or they smell it. And that's why they say it makes sense. Why does someone say that idea stinks? Because it's so outrageous, it stimulates our olfactory nerves. If I say you got good taste in clothes, you'll realize that I use my taste buds when I see someone who's dressed wonderfully. And this is one of the things you learn in NLP.
Wow.
So I have a wealth of information, and you have a wealth of information that if I keep my mouth shut and listen to you, and in my workshops, all I do is listen.
Mm-hmm.
But to get there, I love talking because I crave attention because I have a wealth of information now that has value.
Mm-hmm.
I help people, I didn't realize it, make money.
That's nice.
You think people want my help?
Yeah.
They don't. They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Why?
Because the way that I present my information, they're afraid to give me their problem. Their problem is they want money. I'll show you how to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I can show you how to increase your business.
Mm-hmm.
People go, okay, they're not calling me because they're afraid to listen to themselves.
Mm.
And I find it very strange, but I have 3 people in the world that think I'm the greatest listener in the world, the greatest in the world.
Wow.
Because of all the things that I've tripped against to come here now. And I'm excited because I'm hoping I'll be able to trigger something in you that you're going to get excited about you. More excited now than ever. Or if you are having a challenge or concern, whatever it is, have a conversation with me. You'll find out that all you may need or require is to have a conversation with me as if I'm your mentor, your alter ego, your coach, whatever it is. I'm your sounding board, that you already have the answer. Mm-hmm. And all you require is to hear yourself think. And a lot of my clients don't need therapy. All they require is to hear themselves think. And when they hear themselves think, they come up with the answers.
Right.
But that's not obvious. What I realize I'm doing this now, I've been hiding in the closet of my mind with the information that I have because people are not getting my essence. Because the way I present it and who I am is a conflict between my male nature and my female nature. I grew up with a role reversal. My mother was my father was my mother. And that was the greatest blessing in the world.
Okay.
Because my contrarian nature of not liking my mother woke me up to, I'm uncomfortable talking to people that are visual or kinesthetic. And they're uncomfortable talking to me for the same reason. Now, you may not get what I'm saying. Your conscious mind favors one sense. Your subconscious mind, which takes in the information, favors a second sense. And your unconscious mind favors a third sense. I'm consciously auditory. And you may be consciously auditory, or you may be consciously kinesthetic. When you hear me, you may want to see it, may want to see how it feels, or you may want to paint a picture. And if I create a metaphor of a picture for you, you're going to see what I mean. Or you're going to say yes to hear what I'm saying, but you may have to go unconscious just to understand me with the other sense. And that's perturbating. So most arguments or misunderstandings are, I'm auditory and you're visual and you don't see what I mean, unless I'm lucky to say something. Or if you're a kinesthetic, you're feeling uncomfortable because I'm making you go to another part of your brain to understand my auditory, and to stay present at the same time is very perturbating. So when you talk to somebody with this awareness, you'll find out that some of the people you talk to don't speak the same way you do. But when you're aware that if this person is visual, paint a picture. Like an elegant storyteller, they use all the senses. Why? Because if I use all the senses and tell you a story, that's why people like telling stories. It doesn't matter which sense you use. We use all of them, but it doesn't matter which sense you use primarily, because in the story, I'm going to honor whatever those senses are. But imagine our conversation is a taste. Imagine you may have heard, I want to give you a taste of this.
Okay.
So what I want to share with you, if you use all your senses in your communication, smell, taste, sound, feeling, and the visual, you'll find out that more people are going to want to have a conversation with you because you're touching their senses.
Wow.
So these are the insights are for you.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
It
Touch
took me
all the senses.
that's 77 years in a few minutes.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I was going to ask you, I mean, does it have to take 77 years? But obviously, no. I mean, if you can get this information now, you can begin to implement it into your business, into your life,
Yeah.
into your communication.
Yeah. Can you imagine when you were a kid and your parents said, when you were 4 or 5, Yaya, what do you think? Tell me
mom
what's
used to
on
say
your
that all
mind.
the time.
Pardon?
My mom used to ask me all the time.
Well, you're very fortunate because in my world, I was never asked that until I was 21.
Mm.
But was there something missing when you were a kid?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
My dad.
So there's a maleness that was missing in your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I want to share with you is that, have you healed that with yourself?
I'm sorry?
Have you healed that?
Yes, I believe I have. Yes. I connected to him.
Either you have or you haven't. Right?
Yes, I believe I have. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that was missing when you were a kid?
Friends.
Okay. You didn't have friends?
Not too many, no.
Okay.
We traveled a lot.
Was that a concern?
No.
Did you have any concerns when you were a kid?
No, I didn't.
You know how lucky you are?
Yeah, I do.
You know that a lot of people could not say that?
I know.
So that's a blessing that you have.
Yeah.
Where would you like some help?
I think just, when you're so certain about your future and where you want to go in life, it's hard to communicate with other people. And so when you do try to communicate with other people, talk with other people like we're doing today, and just be in that same wave pattern or that same planetary existence, it's almost virtually impossible. So
Okay, hold it. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
If you say it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
your mind's going to say, okay.
Okay.
Our minds will do exactly what we tell it. When you unconsciously say it's hard, your mind is going to make it hard. If you say it's hard for me to understand you, I'm going to agree with you and make it hard.
Okay.
Now, hard is a very visceral word. You don't really mean hard, but you use the word hard. And what I do in my communications, find another word for hard.
Okay.
Or what does hard look like to you?
Okay.
What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And the strangest thing, when you look at the 5 to 7 senses of the word hard, magical things shift inside of you, or all of a sudden, I didn't really mean that,
right,
but that's the way it came out. So
right.
what I want to say for you is that our minds are going to say, whatever you say, it's going to be. So be very gentle with yourself, that when you say it's impossible, guess what?
It will be.
It will be, because you have to, your mind is going to do exactly what you want. So we make it impossible, and the word impossible is made up.
Gotcha.
So be very gentle. And this is what I do in my conversations. And with my friends, it's the same thing. They'll say to me, Ron, did you notice? No, I didn't notice it, because it was automatic for me. And the reason why I saw it in you, because it's an issue for me, or else I wouldn't pick it up. So I want to thank you very much, because I sometimes have said in my mind the same thing. Oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
So guess what? So I want to share with you, when you say those, and all you can do when you're aware of next time saying it's hard, just be aware of that, and you'll find out the Yaya is going to help you change the word. So
Okay.
what's another word for hard?
Well, well, it's not. I think you hit it right on the nail. It's not really that it's hard.
But you said it was hard. But you said it was hard.
Yeah, I know, but it's not okay. So I believe. How do I put this? Okay, so reaching out and trying to be a friend, to try and find other people like-minded.
Okay, stop that word.
So no trying.
No trying.
Finding other people that are like-minded like me.
Exactly.
That's what I want to do.
So guess what? That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I do it? There's an organization called the Tribal 10.
Okay.
Now, this is what I do, and a couple of my clients are doing the same thing. There's something called the Tribal 10, mm-hmm. and I can share this with you. Knowing what you want, you'll find out that if you consider your Tribal 10, you'll find out you will attract the people that you want in your life because you're going to be clear on what that really means. Mm-hmm. So there are 10 words that are my sacred interests.
Okay.
And they call it the Tribal 10, the Tribal 10 sacred interests. And there are 10 words that when I had a conversation with one of these words, I got excited. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't know, but those words gave me a little bit of energy in my body. Excited means I got a little bit of energy, just a little bit. So if you were to sit down and tell me afterwards what your Tribal 10 words are, mm-hmm. what are the 10 words that resonate with you, the 10 words that are important to you, the 10 words that you enjoy having a conversation with, the 10 words that you've used a lot because it makes you alive. If you write those 10 words, mm-hmm. you'll find out when you talk to somebody next, if they use one of those words in the conversation, they're a like-minded person. Mm-hmm. If they don't use those words, or if you find out that they are questioning what you're doing, you may find out that that person is really not in your tribe. Mm-hmm. And you'll go on to the next one, so you won't bother them, mm-hmm. because to say no to them sometimes is the best thing in the world.
Right.
The other thing is, my tribe is your tribe. You know what that means?
No.
The people you want to do business with, mm-hmm. are people that I do business with.
Okay.
Now, unbeknownst to you, I know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Like I know right now probably 500 people that know me by name. And do you know that a couple of those people have maybe 10,000, 50,000 people in their database?
Wow.
And they're like us. Mm-hmm. You know what that means?
They're amazing people.
They're in your tribe.
Yeah.
Your tribe is already out there.
I gotcha.
So I can share with you your tribe.
Wow.
And all we're doing is doing what we love to do. Mm-hmm. And the universe has got our back.
Yeah. That is amazing. So so I have to, wait. I'm working on this. I'm working on this. Okay.
We're a work in progress. Wonderful.
So, okay. I am going to begin being clearer and more decisive with my speech. Is that good? Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm done talking for right now.
Yeah, you're done for right now.
For right now.
I gave you a lot to ponder. So what I'd like to do now is I want you to go on. When's your next call?
At 4:30.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is after this call, I want you to stop. Now, are you in an apartment or a home?
I have my own home.
Okay. Do you have grass outside?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What I want you to do is stop. And I want you to get up and I want you to go outside. And if it's appropriate, take off your shoes and socks, stand on the grass, and I want you to look up and leave the rest to the Almighty for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that if you just do that, it's wonderful. And if you notice that there's anything that comes up, I would like you to say thank you very much. I appreciate your concern because it's your other half not in charge, because you're going to be in charge. And to thank it and say, leave me alone, but I know this is good for both of us. Go outside for a few minutes, 5 minutes, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome in the Almighty, welcome in nature, welcome in the awareness of being. And then you can come back and be ready for whatever you want to do next.
Yeah.
And then if you're interested in having a conversation, which is what I love calling it, or you're interested in some insights, or if you have a challenge, give me your problem. And maybe
Nice.
I know somebody in the universe that has the solution for you. Or say you want to talk to somebody that you have, whatever reason you haven't interviewed them yet. Give me the problem. Whoever it is, give me the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And watch what happens. And
Wow.
realize that you don't have to do this alone.
Right.
Or else you'd already be doing it.
Yeah. Wow.
So I told you I love you.
I love you too, Ron. Thank you.
And you notice
That's
that
big.
there's no space when there's love. Do you notice that?
None.
And above love is awareness. You have awareness and the universe is yours.
Well, Ron, thank you so much. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I'm just trying to just a little bit at a time. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this one again. Thank you so much. I have to have you back on the show. We need to talk about the 10 principles. We need to talk about the 10 the 10 key things that, I forgot what you called it, but I have to go back and listen because it's a lot of stuff.
In our meetings, this would all be documented right on the spot. And you wouldn't have to go back and listen to it because it would be documented, and it'd be a lot easier because we just would document the key points on the screen, which is a magical way of planning anything.
Right.
Or having a conversation like that people are not aware of. You wouldn't have to go back and listen to it because there would be 5 or 10 points that you would want to look at, and then you can able to look at it afterwards without having to go back and listen, because I don't go back and listen to the ones that I thought I was going to go back and listen to, but I take one point from it and I practice it till I get it. So I'd like to recommend to you, instead of going over it, there's one point that Yaya may say to you to pay attention, focus on at that point and practice it, maybe for a day or a week or a month until Yaya gets it. And then you'll know what the next step is.
Yeah. I know what that point is already. Okay. I'm not going to tell you.
No, don't tell me. I love secrets. No. Don't tell
me. Hey.
There's a
but
power.
I do know what that is.
Okay, there's a power in keeping a secret. And All you require is ask of me, of the Almighty, of Einstein, of Buddha, of Christ. I have Christ on my left-hand side and Buddha on my right. And they exercise with me. And they're having a blast. So whoever is your dream of having beside you, you may find out they're already there. When you welcome that person, you'll find out that their essence is already there. Whoever it is, your father, your mother.
Yeah.
If some people who have an issue with a parent, I share with them some of the exercise that I've had to heal that experience, and magical things coming because I found out it's a lesson in everything. So this is one of the other things of the many things that I share when I have these conversations.
Yes.
Okay.
Conversations.
I'm finished.
So how can people reach you if they wanted to have a conversation?
That they get in touch with you. They get in touch with you so you know who's interested in what we're doing. And the ones who get in touch with you will let you know they like this kind of conversation.
Gotcha.
And then you have an opportunity to have a conversation with them again. And they may have an interesting story, or they may know somebody who else has an interesting story that has these 10 tribal traits that you want to share, and you welcome your tribe. So that's how people get in touch with me.
Awesome. Well, Ron, thank you so much.
Now I'm going to say goodbye, but I'm not going to leave you because I already miss you.
Oh, I love this. This is amazing. This was so mind blowing, and it's taught me so much about just changing this.
Be aware, love.
Be aware. See, I have to be aware.
Either your mother or your father, and if mother or your father aspect in you says you have to change. No, when you're aware, change happens.
Okay, I have a lot to work on. I have a lot to be aware of.
Okay, just be aware, but put everything aside. At the moment, what we discussed.
Right, I'm gonna go outside.
Go outside and be aware.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And hey, if you need any kind of, awareness, get in contact with me. Just comment below and we'll contact you. Thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate you. I am aware now.
Oh, I feel that, love. I'm
aware now.
Wow.
I am aware now.
All right, love.
We will be aware.
We will be.
That's right. And thank you guys so much. And don't forget to dare to be aware. Ha. Till next time. Bye.
To show you